Well, good morning, everybody. My goodness. A little birdie told me that our friend KK is having a birthday. See how I did that? See how I'm rhyming? I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Happy birthday, animal lover KK. Let's all please sing her happy birthday. Hold on, KK, your birthday's on Thursday? Well, shit. We will just pretend today is Thursday and go ahead and remind me on Thursday so we can do this all over again. Woo! It's going to be a hot one today. Hot and muggy. Good. Now, KK, I swear it said in here it's your birthday. This reminds me of when I thought it was Kat's birthday. And I'm going all around every platform going, happy birthday, Kat, happy birthday, Kat, happy birthday, Kat. There we go. Thank you, V. Oakley. I need the asterisk. And Kat put an asterisk. It said on Friday. It's become a running joke. It's become a running joke. Also, we had a show one time and everybody kept saying it was Susan's birthday. Now, I know Susan's birthday is in January. And I thought, well, It was a totally different Susan. And of course, we know every day is Kimberly Mann's birthday. Woo! One of the most disturbing cases we have ever discussed here on good old Crime Lines and Lies is Meline Sodto. I'll tell you what, these people make me so damn mad. And his trial is next week. Starts next week, jury selection. Now remember, this is for the essay. This is for the essay. This is for the pictures. This is not for the murder. So the speculation that had the internet all abuzz last week, I guess didn't happen. Because it seems everything that I'm reading, court documents, everything, it seems that the train is on the tracks. Now, I don't know who in the hell in their right mind wouldn't just plead guilty to this as opposed to having all of this nastiness caught on video, caught on digital, exposed in court. Just plead guilty. Plead guilty. I don't want to see the pictures. Who wants to see the pictures? Really, who wants to see it? Who honestly would want to see that? Absolutely disgusting. Chrissy said, Brooks, are we going to stream this trial? Now, that's up in the air right now. I need to talk to True Crime Beat because I'm having a hard time making sense out of yesterday's hearing where good old Mr. Disney, Mr. Boyfriend, actually did grace the court with his presence. They have very strict media guidelines. So I'm not even sure how they're going to do it. Maybe True Crime Beat can explain it to me. In the meantime, good morning, Gina. Look at my beautiful friend, Gina. Woo, URWW. What's up, girl? True Crime Beat said it will be streamed. Thank you for that simple answer, True Crime Beat. You're the most awesome sauce in the world. All right, let's take a minute and tell everybody good morning. Welcome your neighbor. right. My girl Jazzy Jules said only people who are sick, like Stefan and Jen. And I couldn't agree with this statement more. Fun to Ski said Stefan wants to see his photos. You know how long it's been? These were his trophies. Wow. Yeah. He truly wants to sit there and watch his handiwork. I don't know what is more sick. The fact that Madeline had to go through these horrific things, or that Stefan is actually going to allow them to be published in open court. All right. Basically, for public consumption, unless someone like Zavgirl does a FOIA and decides to put them out there for educational purposes. Fucking nothing educational about her. For public consumption, we are not going to see it. And obviously, they're not going to show the jury. It's probably just going to be focused on whoever's on the stand and the judge. We'll see how it goes next week. So where we left off last week, talk about Meline Sodto. As we know, here's a little refresher for you. The judge is allowing all of the photo evidence.
Maddie Sodto is being pushed back by a week, but the judge is allowing key evidence found on Stephen Stern's cell phone in the child sex abuse case. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is joining us live from the Osceola County Courthouse. Randy, Stearns was not in court today.
Yeah, good evening to you, Marlisa. He waived his appearance today, but as you mentioned...
But his stinky ass was in court yesterday. I could smell it through my TV. Anytime someone says, I wish we had smell-o-vision so I could smell wet food. I can smell the food before I go buy it. You don't want smell-o-vision because I saw that nasty trial yesterday. I saw that hearing. You never want smell-o-vision. I could smell Stephen Stearns through that TV.
The judge only pushed the trial start date back slightly, so both sides will have to be ready come next month.
The court would deny their cogent and vigorously argued motion to suppress.
A win for the state. Back in April, Stearns' legal team asked a judge to dismiss phone and video evidence ahead of the trial. They argued it was obtained without a warrant, and Stearns testified he was coerced.
You don't need a warrant when the suspect complies, okay?
To handing over his phone.
And what was your understanding, if any, as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
Were you shown, or did they have a warrant?
They did not.
Law enforcement say they initially took his phone as part of their search for 13-year-old Maddie Sodto. Detectives say once unlocked, they found pictures and videos of Stearns allegedly sexually abusing the teen. The state argued detectives...
You know, sometimes I just hate the word allegedly. I get that to skate around things like libel and slander, you have to use wording like, well, in my opinion, or well, what I think is, and allegedly. Look, there is no alleged shit here. They have pictures of him with her doing unspeakables.
Were right to take Stearns' phone and go through it because they thought he was trying to get rid of evidence. Stearns told investigators he'd accidentally factory reset his phone, which prompted suspicion. Judge Keith Karsten alerted both sides Wednesday he's denying that motion. The alleged evidence found on the phone can be used during the trial. The judge also denied a joint motion filed by state prosecutors and the defense to push back the case again.
The motion to continue, is going to be denied. I will make concessions.
Both sides said they hoped to get more time to prep since they were waiting for a ruling on evidence.
Well, get to prepping. Get to prepping. This should be the easiest case on each side that they've ever had to do because, well, all the evidence was poured out on a silver platter. A silver platter. Sylvie Montpete. She said, "That's right, Brooks. That's right." And I tell you what, the one that I really want to see hung is this bitch.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much.
Please tell you threw away her backpack. He threw away her backpack. I can't stand her. He threw away her backpack. Please tell me he's going to go to jail for this. Girl, he's not going to jail for throwing away a backpack. He's going to jail for throwing away the innocence of your daughter. He's going to jail for throwing away her life. You idiot. You idiot. And he threw away her backpack. Listen to it again. Good God.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much.
Bitch. Bitch. I threw away her backpack. Please tell me her backpack. There we go. Liz Stapleton. That's what I'm talking about. Liz Stapleton said her backpack. He threw Maddie away. He threw Maddie away. And I'm talking no one except for the state of Florida. Don't get me wrong. That's a pretty big war chest. Is advocating for Madeline. And don't get me going on that woman that claims to be her advocate and selling all these t-shirts and everything. That bitch has ripped off a lot of people. I understand there's a bench and there's some very nice things to honor Madeline, but it comes down to dollars and cents. And that lady has a lot of dollars and cents to answer for. When I know more about it, you will know more about it because you know how we do around here.
Stephen Stearns is about to go on trial for what happened to his girlfriend's 13-year-old daughter a year ago, February. Police say Stearns molested Meline Sodto for years before ultimately killing her. They charged him with sexual battery and possession of child sex abuse materials in addition to murder. Just days after her 13th birthday, Madeline was found strangled and dumped along a country road in the woods of Central Florida, not far from the family home. Her school had just reported her missing. Among the evidence is surveillance video of Stearns driving Madeline's body around in his car before moving her to the trunk. He's never admitted to anything.
He doesn't have to admit to anything. He doesn't have to admit to anything. He might as well just go ahead and give autographs. It's all captured in the cloud, his Google Drive, his phone that he accidentally factory reset, CCTV seeing him with her dead body propped up next to him, and he's driving around trying to act like she's just sleeping. He doesn't have to admit to nothing. Like I said, this ISIS-looking motherfucker here, he might as well just get in line and start signing autographs. They have him dead to nuts.
But during his long months in the county jail, he has been talking, sometimes to his parents. In newly released jailhouse phone calls, Stephen Stearns says Madeline was already dead when he found her. He seemingly admits to having inappropriate and illegal pictures of the girl on his phone, but he claims it was because, wait for it, Madeline had a crush on him.
Oh boy. He had these pictures of pure perversion on his phone because Madeline had a crush on him. I like another thing that he said to his mother, that Madeline considered these poses artistic. What? A girl her age just learned a few years ago how to color inside the lines. She is not going to say, hey, for the sake of art, will you pull your pants down and let's take a picture? No. No. We've heard of victim blaming. This is what I call victim shaming. She has been re-victimized over and over and over again since she was 8 years old. And her death has not stopped it because neither him or Jen are going to do the right thing. Freaking art my ass.
And that her mother knew it. If you have a strong stomach, have a listen to this.
None of this that was on the phone was a surprise to
She was aware that she had certain feelings towards me.
Jen was aware that Maddie had certain feelings for him. No. That's not how this works. It actually makes it worse that anybody would know something inappropriate was going on. And his mother, she's a real fuckstick. None of this that was on the phone was a surprise to, she's talking about Jen Sodto. He goes, well, she was aware that Madeline had certain feelings towards me. It doesn't work that way. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, it does not.
She was aware that she had certain feelings towards me.
Yeah. Well, then why was she considering her to sleep with you?
She used to joke about it, call it an electra complex. Used to joke and say, you better not leave me for my daughter when she's older.
The Electra complex. And it was a joke, he said. It was a joke, according to him. I don't know about you guys, but that's not really a joke that we would have in my household. Oh, it was a joke, She just kept saying, I hope you don't leave me for my daughter. Well, just when you think that he is crazy and making it up, damn, hold my beer, because Jen said that.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. You can't do that to me.
Why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
She more than put that in her body, because as we know, Stefan would only have butt sex with Jen. Jen calls it slumber parties. Jen calls it snuggle time. She did more than trust a man. She served her daughter up to him, knowing what was going on. And I'll die on that hill. No way did she not know. As a matter of fact, room number 4, I believe what Jen said. I believe what the police have investigated 100%. Not only did she know, she encouraged it.
Well, then why would she send her in there to sleep with you?
She used to joke about it, call it an electrocomplex. Used to joke and say, you better not leave me for my daughter when she's older, things like that. Laugh about it, and they used to both ogle over me and comment on me and talk about me together and giggle and talk about how nice I looked, and it was not an appropriate situation.
I know you can't talk about this, but from
appropriate? He said it was not an appropriate situation. What the F? There's a lot of words to describe what was going on, but to water it down the way he just did and say, it just wasn't an appropriate situation. So you filmed it, you took pictures, but it wasn't appropriate.
It almost sounds like you didn't know something had happened to her.
Well, I discovered her in the state that she was in after everything was said and done. So, obviously I can't get into detail, but no, I was not aware that she had passed on. As you know, I'm up and down throughout the night, and I was not in the room the whole time. And it's not like you just suddenly feel someone's ghost pass away from them. It's a discovery.
As soon as you gotten away from the rest of them, you should have called me, and we could have discussed this, and the outcome would have been a lot different than what it is right now. But
I don't want to get your hopes up, and as I said, don't get carried away with any conspiracy theories. But in a way, I was compromised. When all that stuff was happening, I was not in my right mind anymore.
I should note that Madeline's mother has not been charged with any crimes as of yet. I want to bring in Matt Murphy. He's a criminal defense attorney and a former prosecutor who is also the author of The Book of Murder, A Prosecutor's Journey Through Love and Death. Matt Murphy, I just want to take a shower after I hear that kind of a phone call. I can't help thinking.
I'm the same way. Does anyone feel a tad bit icky listening to that? It wasn't appropriate. It was a joke. Jen always said, please don't leave me for my daughter. Really? 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 It is disgusting. Well, I know who's not disgusting. Look who just crept in the back door. And I don't mean back door like Stefan and Jen. Rapper's here. Rapper has been doing amazing, you all. Amazing. I'm talking putting one front foot in front of the other, making changes and doing great work to take care of himself. So I want everyone to please give a huge round of applause, a huge pat on the back to our friend Rapper. Said, my appointment went well and I go again Friday. You have no idea how proud I am of you, Rapper. You have no idea. I'm getting choked up. I don't mean to do that. All right, let's get back to me being pissed at Stefan and Jen.
What a jury's going to think of a murder defendant who says that the 13-year-old had a thing for him. That just can't go over well.
You'd be shocked, Ashley, how often you see that in cases of child sexual abuse like this. It is almost a trope. You see it all the time. And I mean, you look at that photo on the screen, and I don't want to be glib because the case is so horrific, but I mean, like, how many 13-year-olds are attracted to the picture that we see on that screen? It's offensive.
No 13-year-old girl is going to look at that piece of shit and get a crush. Okay? Now, I'm not going to speak for myself, but I'm going to speak for True Crime Beat. When she was 13 years old, she thought she was going to marry Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block. Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block looks nothing like damn Stefan. No. This guy is nasty.
And I mean, you look at that photo on the screen, and I don't want to be glib because the case is so horrific, but I mean, like, how many 13-year-olds are attracted to the picture that we see on that screen? It's offensively stupid, and I think the jury's going to see it that way.
So one of the lines that just made me shake was that his girlfriend, Madeline's mom, that his girlfriend and Madeline used to ogle over him. And again, I just see not only victim blaming, but child victim blaming. He's allegedly got naked pictures of her on his phone. So put that all together. And does he have a hope in hell with any jury?
I love how Beigefeld said that. Oh, everybody talking about their crush when they were 13. Angel P said, not me. Mine was Elvis. Susan said, I had a thing for David Soul at 13. True Crime Beat. Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block. Chrissy is singing right now. She said, TCB and Joey sitting in a tree. KISSING. First comes love, then comes marriage, then is Joey in a vegan restaurant wanting to know why True Crime Beat won't give him a steak. That didn't rhyme. Okay, look at that. Kristen Slater. See, I think we can all agree. Maddie had no thoughts like this. Okay? Pat K, Davey from the Monkees, Gene Ellen, Matt Damon. Okay? I think we can all agree. There was no crush to be had here. Here we go. Miss North's Musings. Bon Jovi. Richie Sambora, John Bon Jovi, or are you real kinky and wanted the whole band? Be specific. Because the ladies in here are getting real horny. Poppy Red Mustang, Donnie Osmond. Well, I'll tell you what, I love me some Donnie Osmond too. David Cassidy. Okay, Andy Gibb. All right. My goodness. So I think we can all agree. Nikki Sticks. Sean Cassidy. Ooh, tell you what. My goodness. Woo. Dollar bills, y'all. I feel like I'm watching Magic Mike right now. Sarah, Richie Sambora. Shit, do I need to rename the title of the show and just call it All of You's Teenage Crushes? My goodness. John Stamos. Man, I can smell the Tiger Beat magazines from here. Woo.
He got naked pictures of her on his phone. So put that all together. And does he have a hope in hell with any jury?
No. Now, Florida uses a bifurcated system because they're seeking the death penalties. There will be a guilt phase and then a penalty phase. And during the penalty
Susan has a question for me. She said, what was your crush? Mine? Well, I'm not a dirty slut like a lot of you. I only had room in my heart for Jesus. so you all can just sit and spin on that pogo stick, all right? Nope. Never looked away from Jesus. That's right.
Phase, the court will instruct the jury that they need to weigh and consider the aggravating factors in this case. And there are so many, including, according to the documents I read, tens of thousands of images of that little girl either being sexually molested by him or maybe nude. She appears to be asleep. Jury is going to be horrified by that. I have no doubt that they'll take their task very seriously. But this is in the state of Florida. I would be shocked if the jury did not convict him under these facts. I'd be shocked. Of course, he's presumed innocent. I have to say that as an attorney, but I'd be shocked also if they did not return the verdict of death.
Thanks for watching.
The Oakley wanted to take on the whole cast of Dukes of Hazzard. Damn, the Oakley. Dadgum. Christina, Corey Haim back in the day. You mean Lost Boys Corey Haim? Because I love that movie. Pat, Steve McQueen. Woo. Stephen Stearns needs the DP. The DP. Okay? The DP. On one hand, I'm furious that he won't just go ahead and plead guilty and skip this trial about the, how should I say, the pictures. I'm trying to say it as nicely as I can. And let's just get to the murder trial. And let's just hook him up. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that say, I know, but it takes like 20 years. It takes like 20 years for him to even get executed. It's not worth it. It is worth it because death is death. Would you rather him work in the prison laundry and enjoy his beefaroni and his trust fund his parents are setting up for him so he's always comfortable? Or would you rather him sweating bullets, waiting to have to walk the damn Green Mile and meet his fate? Yes. My goodness. Sylvie is a new member. Sylvie, you're going to love it here, girl. Now, on Friday, we are having a members live. Okay? We are having a members live. Diva said he won't last 20 years in prison. He'll get prison justice. That's what I'm saying. We call it teardrop style around here. Because you remember when old Adam Montgomery, they couldn't keep him safe in that jail, that prison in New Hampshire? And all those black dudes went and pooped in that toilet, and they held his face in it, made him eat the poop, and then they used the toilet plunger on him. They didn't use it on the toilet. They used it on Adam. That's ship his ass to Virginia to keep him safe. It can happen. It can happen. All right, so this is what went down yesterday. It's a little boring. It's a little redundant, but I promise we're going to have a lot of convo in the meantime. Because I'm telling you, all of your celebrity teenage crushes have really sparked my interest. I agree with you, Diva. He will have a huge mark on his back. Oh, Gene Ellen. Billy Idol. Danielle Cannell and William J. for the state.
Mr. Stearns requested transport this morning. Right, we are here on 3 preliminary trial matters. These are scheduled for 1 hour. Ms. Smith, I don't have a preference on what order you handle your motions. Would you like to address first? Mr. Johnson, my fault.
No problem. Tagging on the first motion, Alex Johnson, defense. We'd like to address defendant's motion to remove newspapers from the courthouse during the proceedings.
All right, thank you.
As to argument for this motion, defense did have remarks this morning. I would move as
Is True Crime Beat still in here? I was going to see if she could come up for a minute. I'm going to pick her brain about something because she is the expert on this case.
one that's been pre-marked today. A copy of the Osceola News Gazette that was present in the lobby this morning, which directly addresses the Stephen Stearns trial to begin July 22nd. The front page in the newspaper.
Okay, it's hard to hear, so I'm going to try to fill in the blanks as much as I can. Oh, there's True Crime Beat. I believe when they're talking about the murder trial, they're saying it's going to be in April. Good morning, True Crime Beat. I'm so sorry that I had to spill your secret about Joey McIntyre.
Okay, he'll never love me like that. But if I ever meet him in person, there'll be a problem.
Oh, damn, Jodie Foster. Rape.
No, he's got 3 kids. That's awful.
Yeah, okay, you can give him a 4th. All right, so some people were asking, and I say some people because I don't exactly remember who. Let's talk real quick about the woman that has been accused allegedly of pocketing money that was supposed to memorialize Madeline. What do you know about that? Because I've heard some really crazy things.
It's kind of gotten quiet. I've been super careful with not trying to say anything until we have more confirmations, because this person was super active and there's a lot of questions as to what happened. And, you know, I have questions because I donated, and I'm thinking there's got to be more than what was put out. And it's a nice bench, but I was like, that's it? Really? Okay. You know, but
this is like, this lady that sent me this email, and I'll forward it to you. I'll do it right now. It's basically just like a standard bench that you can buy from Amazon or Ace Hardware.
Yeah, it's very well. They already had the bench there in Sim Cloud. I haven't been out there. Well, it was there when I was there, and they said this is the bench, and all they did was they put a plaque on it. And I thought, oh, well, that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice, but I'm like, that's it. And I kept saying, well, why don't we have something that's St. Cloud? Okay. And I realized she was found in St. Cloud. But I said, well, why don't they have something near her school or near her home? And, and they're like, well, we can't get permissions. I'm like, I just couldn't believe that. So I didn't get too much pushy because I just only have so much time but there's people asking lots of questions. There are some people, and I don't blame them. And
that's what happens when you part with the almighty dollar. People want to know where the hell it went, unless it's bullshit they want. Now, did they just say in here that the murder trial starts in April? Did I correctly? Because I can't find any verification of it on the court docket.
No, it's not verified, so I'm not really sure. But when everyone keeps saying September, you and I have already talked about it before. I don't foresee it happening at least till after the new year, because there's no way.
No.
I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if April is like but until, I always say until they put it on that docket, and even then, they could change it, tomorrow. But I don't think, yeah, September, I pretty much would just tell people just to scratch that off your calendar, because I would be shocked if it happened. I would be shocked.
I can't foresee it being in 2025. No.
No, and everyone I talked to, who thought,
especially with the DA running for re-election in 2026.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And I also think, I forgot what I was going to say. That, remember we had the whole rumors about the plea deal, and I think it was a bunch of bunk too. But they really do have until the day of the trial starts if they're offering something. So they didn't seem I was kind of trying to keep an eye on the prosecutors yesterday. They didn't seem like they were, because I mean, they seemed like they were just ready to go. I mean, so to me, either they're playing really good, facade on that, or, because I mean, I at first I didn't want them to offer. Remember I said at first, I was like, oh, I don't want them to offer him anything, but I'm like, you know what? This case, it would really be, I think it would give Maddie some more dignity back, because even though the gallery and people aren't going to see it, I mean, it's horrible. The jury's going to have to see it, and it's like there's just, so I don't know. I guess it's still possible they could do it until opening statements, right? So I mean, we really do have until next week.
I mean, he could decide during jury selection.
Because I mean, I already saying to people, I said I plan on being there the 24th. I mean, because they're saying it'll take about 2 days. And and I'm like, I could be sitting there, and they make him an offer, and then they're like, oh, well, he pled, and that's the end of it, which would be fine. That'd be great, but you never know.
And the thing is, he has absolutely no defense.
There's nothing. I don't know what he could say.
You're not going to claim mental illness. You're not going to claim some sort of traumatic brain injury from when he had a car wreck at the age of 8. You're not going to claim that Jen knew about the crush. There is nothing to defend here. Nothing.
The only one he can argue is the murder, period. And that one, I mean, I think he should fight. I mean, even though we all believe he did it, but I'm like, to me, it's like this one here is like, it's an open and shut case. So I mean, only thing I can think of is he's so sick he wants to relive it. It's like, ugh.
That's what Susan keeps saying. She's like, oh no, he wants to see this.
I mean, and I figure
he wants to see people's faces.
Yeah, and I figure anybody there, like I'm gonna be there, even if you stream it, you're not gonna be able to see it or anything, but you're gonna know what they're playing on that screen. I mean, I don't know if they'll have them have headphones on, but you're gonna know something's being shown that's disturbing, and that's gonna make me sick. Sorry, Toby's commenting.
By the way, OJ said that he would babysit your bird for free. Anytime you want to get out and go do something, OJ said that he would be very happy to watch your birdie.
Oh, well, he might get scratched up and bit pretty good. So,
okie doke.
Has no position. One.
As to this motion, with the recent denial of the motion to continue, the trial is set to begin next week in this courtroom. And as potential jurors and jurors that are selected in the trial block, the courthouse right in front of security, right on security, is a slew of newspapers, including newspapers like the Osceola News and Stephen Stearns has appeared on the front page of the newspaper, and the newspapers constantly indicate that there's both a sex case that is currently pending, which is what we're here for this morning, as well as a capital murder. So, defense is requesting that just during the pendency of the trial, not ongoing in order of the court, that we remove these papers so that way as they come go about court.
Right, state takes no position. I have confirmed with jury services that jury services do not provide newspapers to potential jurors. The court always has to be careful with balancing the right to the press, the right to open and fair jury trials. We find that we should the newspapers today their jurors. Can you give me some guidance as to where this is downstairs? Still by the employee areas, where the general public can come in?
This is where the general public comes in. It's so if you're looking at the first floor, there's the area where you go to the elevators, and then there's the mirror there.
Yes.
It's the table's right in front.
Progress screens.
Yeah, exactly.
I have inquired as to our court administration who provides newspapers. I think that's a county function. We have proactively reached out to the counties to suspend the delivery of newspapers during the jury selection process and throughout the trial. So the motion is preliminary and granted. Direct parties that provide the newspapers not to do so during the jury selection process. Smith?
Yes, Judge. Defenses would next like to proceed on the defense's motion to order the all media to adhere to the rules of judicial administration and administrative order. Essentially, Judge, defense is asking according to, as the rules require, that the media, and since defense is on the left side of this courtroom and the media is positioned directly behind us, their cameras intentionally, inadvertently, I'm not saying that they're doing it intentionally, it's focused on counsel's table in order to get views of Mr. Sturgeon of that nature. So in positioning, counsel's computer screens are in view of the media. So defense is requesting that the media not be allowed to look at, zoom in on, or otherwise project essentially onto counsel's table because of work product and attorney client confidentiality. I know.
Sense. That makes sense. You don't need to be looking at what they have on their computer screens. Okay. I think that goes without saying. And I don't want to see the jury at all. I want to see his face. Because this trial is not going to take that long. I know some people are like, oh, it's going to take like 6 months to go through all those pictures. Oh, no. Hell, even I could put together a slideshow like that. Okay? To get the point.
They're covering the Florida rule of judicial administration, so the 2.450, it makes complete sense what it states when I pulled it up. I was like, oh, this is totally duh. You know, I mean, it's just simple common sense. And the judge seems very pro to have the media in there as long as they just follow some basic rules.
Yeah, don't piss him off like that judge in Sarah Boone's trial. He was getting furious with court TV.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Rexy said, I hope the audio of the trial is better than this. Me too.
Yeah, I boosted it on mine if anybody wants to listen to it later. I mean, I'm talking in between a little bit, but yeah, It was awful. I'm hoping to God that they'll have it better next week because I was like, come on, Osceola County. Come on.
We have to essentially affirmatively attempt to protect it. And when we have communications, we mute the mic. However, because the table is so large and facing, it's just asking the media not be ordered, not be allowed to zoom in on our computers or our computer screens. Under the administrative order, it says that communications between attorneys and their clients, counsel and co-counsel, or anything is held at the bench is required not to be recorded or broadcasted. So the defense's position that anything is occurring essentially at counsel's table notes, whether that be handwritten notes or computer screen notes, not be looked at. The defense has taken affirmative steps to privacy screening and additionally dimming the lighting on the laptops. However, even with that, it still is doable for the media, and sitting in court with dim screens and dark lights for multiple hours is going to cost headaches, but also to protect not only Mr. Stern's confidentiality, but potential other clients' information who we're working on while here in court. Look at computers or
The state doesn't have a position. However, I think if the court is going to issue an order, it needs to be everybody in the courtroom, not just specifically.
This courtroom setup is really confusing me because normally what we see is that the prosecution, the state, is to the right of the judge and the defense is to the left. It's got me all twisted and turned up. That's okay. I figured it out.
There's a lot of amateur media people that will cover this trial, and they use phones, from my experience in other high-profile trials. So the order should be broad enough that it covers everybody in the courtroom, perhaps even an order that people in the gallery should not be allowed to have their phones out during the trial.
He's talking about you, True Crime Beat.
I know. I was like, Mr. J. Y'all remember him, right? From Sarah Ben's case?
He's
yeah. I have to be familiar with this because this one they haven't really cleared this one up. So I think you're gonna have to have it on silent and have it in your bag. That's my assumption. Because that's not written in that and what they were stating. But I'm sure it's gonna be. I'm sure they'll have something on the door even. No cell phones out. So that'll make it easy.
How dare they call you an amateur?
I know, but I actually thought that was kind of a side compliment to all of us YouTubers, Brooks, because he called us amateur media. So I don't know. I took it a little complimentary, but maybe he was not being complimentary.
Oh, I think they want all the attention they can get. And can I just say something about attention? The lady sitting next to the DA, those shoes are killer.
Yeah.
Those are some awesome shoes.
Yeah. Sometimes they need daily reminders. Sometimes they need multiple daily reminders, but they also focus on the state's computer, and we are obviously against that for the same reasons.
All right, our relationship with the media has been a good one. They're an essential community partner. As I said, the court's going to strive to ensure that this is both an open trial and a fair trial. The days of passing notes back and forth are behind us. A little experience working with each of the attorneys. Here I know that your coordination with witnesses, with each other, with presentation, with evidence is highly computerized. We'll expect that the media will comply with Florida Rule of Judicial Administration 2.450, as well as our Administrative Order 2023-23. That order is fairly specific. Under subsection 2E indicates that representatives may not cover sidebar or bench conferences and recordings of conferences for information that occurs between attorneys and clients, between co-counsel and counsel and judge of the bench. I've done several trials where the media was involved. The only violations of 2.450 in our administrative order, in my opinion, have been inadvertent. Issues were camera operator perhaps went to a wide shot that included faces of the jurors during the trial, or there was a microphone that was inadvertently picking up communications through the microphones at the counsel table after the microphone had been apparently muted by the attorneys. These are technical issues. We have a technical team here that the media is absolutely welcome to coordinate with. administrative rule gives media an opportunity to meet with the administration, questions about what the board's expectations will be. We'll expect that media representatives will be credentialed. The rule non-credentialed members will not be permitted to have cell phones as members of the general public.
Practice what you preach, dude, because your technology is horrible. True, Pat K said she's going to be sending you lots of stuff while you're at the trial.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping I can tolerate, being there more than one day. We'll have to see how that goes.
Jay said, where does he get off calling us amateurs? For real. We had this thing solved before they even found Madeline. They should just be asking us.
Yeah, I did think it was ironic that he said we have a tech team, and I'm like, oh, cool, let's utilize them.
1986 Radio Shack is better than this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good morning. Will you spell your first and last name for the record?
Yes, Ricardo, Ricardo. Last name is Rosario, Rosario.
How long have you been employed as a court deputy?
Since March of 2017.
And is your primary assignment to this courtroom that we're actually in right now?
Yes.
Are there policies in place for the use of any type of restraints during a felony criminal trial or an accused?
That's correct.
And how many felony criminal trials have you participated in?
You remember the count, Liz? I can't remember how many.
That's fair. What type of devices or restraints are available that would be out of the view of members of the jury?
So each courtroom has two, one device is kept downstairs on the first floor, which is a stun cuff. And in the courtrooms, we have a leg brace.
How is a leg brace utilized by court deputies during the pendency of a criminal?
So a leg brace is essentially a long bar. It has 4 straps. And in the center, there's a tab that you can pull so the person can sit down. Otherwise, the bar won't bend. So basically what happens is when the person sits, it bends, but when you stand up, it just locks. It prevents the person to run away. They would have to essentially hop away because that leg is stiff.
What is the purpose? Let me ask you this. Are there any safety concerns for you as a court deputy in this courtroom should a accused during a criminal trial not be equipped with such a thing as a leg brace?
That's correct. So when
Pat wants a strap that attaches to his man balls.
Well, he's already scared of the stun cuff, which is what they're going to give him. So I think if he put it a little further up, it might work for Pat's liking.
Pat is ready for it. Off topic, V. Oakley said all these places getting flooded has me leery about all this rain these days. This is the rainiest. Is rainiest a word? I'm going to make it a word. Is it a word, True Crime Beat? This is the rainiest we have had since we've had almost 40 inches of rain. Now, if I see one more post about iodine, metal, cloud seeding, all that shit, I'm going to lose my cookies because it is a system coming out of the Atlantic, and there's another one coming out of the Pacific. Matter of fact, outside of Cape Cod, it has pushed great white sharks over there. Get so tired of that shit, don't you, True Crime Beat?
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Damn, everybody's a freaking expert on the internet. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You can go into any chat. You got accountants, you got doctors, you got lawyers, you got people that know how to build pools, and none of them have ever done shit with their life. It's awesome. Love it. Bring me more internet.
Any inmate is brought over to the courthouse, they're restrained, handcuffs, and leg chains. When they're brought over for a trial, they are dressed out in proper attire, suit, and at that point, they're in the custody of the sheriff's office, and we have to maintain a level of safety and security for the inmate and as well for everybody else in the courtroom. That's the reason why we utilize those restraints.
Is there limited staff here at the courthouse for the sheriff's office?
Yeah, so in a perfect day, the felony courtrooms will have 3 deputies. Misdemeanor courtroom would have 2, and civil would have 1. But due to staffing, sometimes people take off or they're sick, and there's it creates a safety hazard if you're running a high-profile felony case with just 2 deputies. So hence the reason why we use also the device.
Is this device something that is visible to anybody that is looking at the outer appearance of an inmate wearing it?
No.
Is this device something that delivers a shock or pulse of electricity or anything like that?
That's correct.
All right, so you got 2 deputies. They're a little understaffed, as he said, for a high-profile case. So he wants to get out of hand. Someone's got the buzzer, and they're going to shock him back to 1950 without a DeLorean.
It does or it does not?
It does.
It does. When does that happen?
So if I may, I have the device in front of me.
Would utilizing the device assist you in explaining how it operates?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Oh, he wants to show it. Go ahead, Stephanie. Stand up. Come on. Go ahead. Strap it on him and show what's going to happen. Because this guy's ready to use it. TCB, have you ever been shocked before?
No, I don't want to be.
Okay. Like never stuck your tongue to a 9-volt battery or anything?
Oh, yeah, I did that as a kid. I think this is worse, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So essentially, this is a stun cuff that's wrapped around a inmate's ankle, and it's tucked away under the clothing. There are 2 metal pieces here that is close to the subject's skin, and the strap is placed accordingly and wrapped not tightly but snug that it won't fall off. The remote is this right here, which is kept at all times with a deputy within the courtroom. Nobody knows who has it. It's hit. So to activate this cuff, it's a 2-step process. There's on, and then there's fire. So the device won't accidentally fire on itself. It has to have a 2-step button to fire the device.
And the device isn't triggered by movements of an individual or anything like that. Advised by court staff in addition to the leg brace that you described?
It's one or the other.
So there's two options that are potentially available to court deputies depending on.
I am so with Amanda Z. She said, oh, if I had that, I would have fun. Pat K wants the remote. Could you imagine us sitting here watching the trial and just bzz, bzz, bzz. He'd be doing the pee-pee dance. Woo! Bzz, 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 bzz. Cattle prodding old Stephen Stearns.
Scenario.
Correct.
And both of these options are outside the view of anybody that is looking at the outer appearance of an individual as long as they're wearing pants.
Correct. So when we put these devices on the inmate that's scheduled for trial, it's out of the view of the public, it's out of the view of the jurors. No one knows that the person set for trial has it on.
And let's talk a little bit about writing utensils. If there is an inmate present in court, are they given a writing utensil?
Yes, they do. They get a flexible pen.
And those flexible pens are made available by court staff to individuals that are participating in the criminal trial process.
Yeah.
And what is the purpose of court deputies providing that specific type of writing?
Essentially, the pen, it does write well, but is used sort of for a safety purpose in the event that the inmate would like to use it sort of as a weapon. The pen is designed to fold. And
Miss Purse says, I want a flexible pen. Well, if they give Pat the remote, Stefan's going to have more than a flexible pen. Uli Girl said he needs to be reminded what got him in trouble. Uli Girl, are you saying that you would handle the remote when, let's say, Pat is busy? Sadistic you all are today. Woo! Woo! I'm talking medieval, ladies. Woo!
flex, as opposed to another pen or a big pen or a metal pen that can actually be used as a more deadly device.
It's a safety concern for court deputies.
Yes.
Can I just have a moment?
Of course.
He doesn't need a pen. He doesn't need to take notes. He should be given notes. He knows what he did. Okay? He knows what he did. What I want to know is, oh, you read my mind, Exotic Prairie. What exactly is his snack list going to be? Remember Sarah Boone and her snack list? Remember Lazy Simon and her snack list? What are his snacks going to be? We going to go for the Diet Pepsi and Pop-Tarts?
For the purposes of this trial next week, what is the type of restraint that court staff deemed as appropriate for this?
We will be utilizing the stun cuff, and actually this is a newer version. The older version is a much bigger Florida box. This one is a newer one. So we'll be using this one right here.
Thank you.
Good morning, deputies.
Good morning.
Now, you talked about the number of deputy or court personnel typically kind of staffed in the courtroom. Are you aware of what arrangements, if any, have been made in terms of staffing for this trial?
None yet.
So you don't know how many deputies potentially would be or won't be in the courtroom?
That's a question above my pay grade. I guess we'll have to figure that one out.
Understood. Now, you talked about two different devices and you indicated the stun cuff is the intention in this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that because that's generally what's used in this courtroom or because of what?
99.99% of the time, we always use a stun cuff.
So I want to talk a little bit about the leg brace, since you did talk about that. Now, this leg brace, this is a longer device. Like it's not as small as the stun cuff, correct?
Right. It's essentially a metal bar. It's pretty long and it has 4 straps.
And to your knowledge, is that comfortable or uncomfortable?
I would say rather a bit more cumbersome because it's strapped alongside the leg of the person. And if they stretch their leg, it'll snap shut.
So essentially normal movements could cause it to lock up.
Yeah, as soon as the person stands up, it will lock.
And then the stun cuff, I know you talked about this being a smaller apparatus that goes typically closer to the ankle, correct?
Correct.
And depending on the type of pants or clothing that is worn by the person, that could affect the visibility of the item.
Yes, so normally male inmates will always have long pants and the cuffs go right around it, so you really can't see it.
But the pants legs will have to be wide enough to kind of flow and fall over so it wouldn't be visible, correct?
Yes, and we always apply to the right leg, which is furthest away from the jurors.
And typically when sitting down, your pants often rise, generally speaking, correct?
Yes.
And so if the pants are shorter, then the stun cuff at that point would be visible likely?
Possibly.
And those straps, I know we saw kind of like the strap that goes around. Where does the extra, so to speak, of that tuck in, or does it tuck in somewhere?
So when you apply this apparatus, it wraps around and then the strap goes through here, so it helps.
So similar to a belt, you know how when you use a belt and you have the extra, where would you tuck in, or where does that extra strap go?
It just remains there and it just folds in.
So would it be secured or would it be kind of sticking out?
Just stick it out right. I mean, you would really have to look for it to find it.
Okay. She doesn't want to influence the jury. She doesn't want the jury to see this shocking apparatus. Well, I tell you what, I bet tensions were flying high the day in the public defender's office when they were handing out files and they were like, there you go. You got Stephen Stearns. I bet old girl was like, oh, hell no. I'm going to take a leave of absence until, no. Because let's face it, this public defender, she is not exactly what I would call experienced in something like this. Either way, doesn't matter. Because hold on to your shorts. Don't hit the remote. Don't shock yourself. This is going to be his defense. Now, I'm not going to say the name, but there is a channel out there. I'll put it in Discord. I suggest nobody entertain it. That somehow is putting the onus of what happened to Meline Sodto on Meline Sodto. Not Stefan, not Jen, but on her. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'll put it in Discord. This is going to be their defense, and it's the weakest defense in the world.
Meline Sodto's life was tragic, gone forever after her 13th birthday party. While living, her life was full of constant trauma, essayed for at least 4 years at the hands of her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, according to prosecutors. What does that do to the mind of a child? What did she think was going on? Did she believe she was in a relationship with her abuser?
The videos, the text messages, the images, they're all documented forever. This has been an ongoing thing. And at her age, I think she probably thought they were in a relationship. She probably thought they were in love. At the same time, you guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you established that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him essentially.
He is referred to in many of the court documents as stepfather, mother's boyfriend. So unclear how she saw that relationship. It was on again, off again, and she had told her friends that he had moved out shortly before her death. But as far as how she felt about him, not completely clear, but all positive from what I can tell. Her friend said that she spoke well of him, all positive things, all good things. They never had any reason to think anything other than a positive family home. And they actually noted that they were constantly on the phone. So 13-year-olds love using their phone, and she would talk to friends and Stefan. And outside of her best friends, it was Stefan that was the number one person she was talking to, according to those friends.
Did she ever talk about having any boyfriends or anything like that?
She had a crush.
Okay.
Boyfriends. Oh no, she did date a dude, but it wasn't last. Like he's weird. I don't know if he talks about him. He doesn't.
When was this?
It was like last year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who she's dated since then. Really, I'm not huge when I see my friends with their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Her friend has got to be traumatized by what has happened to her friend. Okay? Has got to be traumatized.
But I know she had a crush on the dude. I remember my friends did tell me, like, she did talk about her friend, like her stepdad, but it was only, like, good things. It was never, oh, I don't want to go home or anything, or, like, anything like that. It was always compliments for her stepdad. And as someone with a stepdad, I never thought anything of it.
How does a 13-year-old interpret 4 years at least, it could be more than 4 years, of ongoing sexual abuse?
It's called grooming. It's called grooming. Hence why Homeland Security is involved in this case.
You have like this saying good things and on the phone with him and referring to him as stepdad. What do you think is going through her mind about what is this relationship?
Well, Vinny, when there are victims of sexual abuse who are minors, there's usually a grooming process that happens. And I have no doubt that that's probably the case with Meline Sodto. So when we think about this, we're looking at like the abusers. They have this systematic way to desensitize the victims through gradual boundary violations, right? So, and they can often frame the abuse as special relationship or love and start using some of these types of words to Madeline. And he could potentially have given her gifts and gave her special attention, which can create confusion about the nature of their interaction. So when we're thinking about the abuser, Stefan, there's manipulation tactics that he's probably used. In these cases, right, sometimes they can say you're mature for your age, and they can use words like us against the world. And he can also probably have used guilt or to maintain secrecy. So he can have normalized his inappropriate behaviors that were gradual over time. And we think about her developmental stage. Minors, they don't have the full emotional and cognitive maturity to understand healthy relationships or to even recognize manipulation.
I'll put this in a nutshell for the expert on the stream. And yes, she's doing a great job. Okay. I'm going to put it in a nutshell. Children should not be manipulated. Okay. Now, I boldface lied to my children. Okay. Call it what you want. They'd say, can we go to McDonald's? No, they're closed. I want to go to the zoo. No, the monkeys have the flu. Okay. There's things like that. Children cannot consent. They can't.
Right, because their brain is still developing. So we're looking at all of these dynamics. But there's also something that was probably key when we're thinking about her looking at him or reported that good comments and these types of things, and potentially looking at him as a relationship, because there's a power dynamic, right? So when we look at trauma bonding in particular, the abuser can create this environment where they can isolate, where he isolated her and he became the primary source of her emotional connection, especially if mom was away. So we'll see the alternation between abuse and affection, which creates this very strong psychological bond. So could she, in her mind, also been able to protect herself to cope with the trauma and think that there was a relationship? Absolutely. We see this all the time in these dynamics.
Have you ever met this guy, her mom's boyfriend?
I went over to her house like once or twice to visit. I met him in person once.
Okay. Did she ever talk about him?
I knew she was on call with me a lot, and I knew that she had told me that he'd moved out of like the house.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I asked to hang out with her, and we'd made plans like a week or two before. Mm-hmm. And then the day of, I wake up to a text message, and it was like, "Hey, I can't. My stepfather's coming, and we're gonna hang out together for the day."
Okay. Did she seem like she had a good relationship with him?
Yeah, they seemed pretty tight. They seemed really close.
Okay. Did she ever mention anything that may have been weird to you about him or mom?
Other than that they were like really close and that they were like always on call.
Well, when children are intuitive and they can know when something is off.
This girl is so lucky, if that's the appropriate word to use, that Stefan didn't get to her. She is so lucky. And I get her demeanor because she cannot exactly process what she witnessed and what her best friend went through. And I agree with Exotic Prairie. 13 is a tough age in a normal setting. A normal setting. Imagine this setting. Anita said, wait a minute. Do any of you remember those mommy coins and daddy coins we saw pick up back in the day? Yeah, it's on our playlist. Could Stearns bought them to paint a sick pic of Maddie and him being more than what they were? My understanding is it was Maddie looking at them and sending them to him. But he's sick all the way around. And so is Jen.
Also, that's what I'm hearing when I'm hearing the conversation from her friends, and I also think about potentially him exploiting her normal developmental needs, right? So if mom was away and working or tired or whatever the potential situation was with her, then, it's natural for a teenager or a preteen to have this desire for acceptance and belonging. And it's also natural for them to want us as adults to approve and validate. So then mom has this boyfriend that's in and out of the home who's taking care of Madeline, who's helping with the needs and these types of things. And we also know at this age, there's a natural emergent, natural emerging interest in romantic relationships. So there's this desire to feel mature and special. So that can absolutely have been exploited during that grooming process. So her friends and their conversation and picking up on these types of dynamics in their intuitive nature, knowing something is off and expressing it age appropriately would probably be spot on.
There's a drawing from, it appears, one of her notebooks, very graphic drawing that appears to be done by Madeline. One part of it, we're blurring it out, is...
Jen knew exactly what was going on. Jen knew exactly what was going on. There was a reason that Maddie can only have friends over sometimes. And we know that Jen said this, even though she doesn't quite remember why she said it.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea. Well, you sent a text to your boyfriend saying you can't have Maddie sleeping with you anymore because it's too risky. She goes, I have no idea. That seems like a pretty important conversation.
Even, I think they moved north, but I'm not sure. He found a job. So they left, and I thought, so then Courtney tells me that they had to move back. I guess he lost his job. I don't know. And I thought they had split up at that point. Honestly, I thought they had split up. And I know Courtney said at that point they were having some issues. And Courtney said to Jen, leave him. You don't do that. Right? You don't usually interfere in somebody's business like that. Right. He was pretty bad enough that she was like, leave him. Now, we didn't. So we hardly knew, them once he entered their life.
Gotcha. Did they ever spend any time out here? Have they ever come here to visit?
She did. Maddie came, not him. He never came here.
Okay.
We would never. I mean, I'm telling you, not like that guy.
Jen's friend, Angelica. Angelica stated that she had another conversation with Jennifer about her sexual interactions or lack thereof with Stefan. Angelica said they didn't have sexual relations often, and that is why she didn't want to be with him any longer. Then there was an interview of Jennifer about all of this. I asked Jennifer to explain her and Stefan's sex life, which she described as vanilla. Stefan would want to have the type of sex that
hurts your butt. That's all he wanted with her. The type that hurts your butt.
Traditional with Jennifer, but she said she didn't want to. So explain this to me, Dr. Janie Lacey. Why is Jen with this guy? No sex. He's got no job. He's got no money. He likes to play with his little toys. He creates a mess in the house. He's not exactly a looker. I've seen the guy without a shirt on. He's not going to the gym and working out. And he's very, I don't know if she knew about the abuse or not, so I can't say anything about that. But why would she be with a guy like this? Why would she have this guy in her home?
I'm going to answer that question for Vinny. I like how Vinny is basically man-shaming Stefan. I've seen the guy without a shirt on. I mean, he's no looker. He doesn't have a job. He plays with little toys. He's messy. Why would she want him around? Because they were into the same thing. They're both preverts. They're both preverted people.
Why would she be happy that he came back after not getting another job.
You know, I can make a lot of assumptions here, Vinny, and one of my main assumptions in these types of dynamics is that he probably found something in Jen that she really needed. And my assumption based off of what we know of this case would probably be he came in, was very helpful and supportive. And especially if she, as a single mom, had all these different dynamics. So he was there taking care of Madeline, probably running errands, and probably became dependent on him for that help. So in these situations, when women are not getting their needs met sexually, like you just read in the statement, it could have been other things that she found important. So then overlooking that there was a part of their relationship that was not healthy in that sense. And usually when predators or people that are abusers, they will prey on single mothers, and they have these trust building tactics. So they study and they kind of come in and find out what she needs help with, or they listen. They're really good at listening because they're collecting information when they're listening.
No, she's a codependent sicko. Hence this.
Go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing stuff. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than anyone. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you were going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind, there's guilt.
I promise you.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that, I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff, fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
We know that now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
You know?
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance. Offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
Fine. But the sex stuff wasn't fine with Jen. Because remember, she got tired of getting rashes on the Hershey Highway. Well, very rarely on this channel do we have good news. Well, today we have good news. Is everybody ready for some good news? A criminal in Odessa, Texas, that has been stealing food, getting into trash cans, stealing toys, one thing after another, turned himself in to the police. All right, we're going to call this breaking news. All right, after weeks of ravaging a neighborhood, stealing balls, getting in trash, This criminal on the screen turned himself in to the police.
Chico is a 1-year-old husky and German shepherd mix.
I got a thing for dogs that just look like wolves. You know, he looks like a wolf, I think.
But Chico is anything but wolf-like.
We're gonna have him at my dad's store, you know, to be a guard dog, but you know, he's just too doesn't take stuff seriously.
He loves to play fetch.
Well, usually he just drops it and, you know, lets it roll around. Then I grab it and I throw it again.
But one morning, it was his owner, Edward, who'd have to fetch him.
They posted that picture at 3:30 a.m.
While Edward was asleep, Chico ran out the gate.
Started chewing it.
And you've never taken him to the police station before?
No.
And that's exactly where he went. Chico blowing up social media that morning with photos of his furry self greeting employees at the Odessa Police Department, a mile away from Edward's home.
He turned himself in. He knew what he'd been up to. Poor Chico. Free Chico.
Home.
That's kind of cool. You know, he knows where to go.
But the post circulated to where it even caught the attention of Edward's nephew.
He asked me, "Is that Chico?" And I'm all like, "Well, yeah." And I came outside and checked it, but he was here already.
And that's exactly right. After Chico said his hellos to the department, it may have been his curfew calling because he ran out OPD's doors and headed back home.
He does got the look of a German shepherd and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of people were posting he probably wanted to join the squad or something like that.
Were you trying out for the canine unit? He said yes. So it was only fair.
He was coming into work.
We took him back to the scene of the crime where he could pay another visit to his friends.
You're the dog, the famous dog, huh? They showed up to OPD. They applied for the canine position.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. For Chico, Edward is his. A dog who made the distance, who will always find his way back home.
Went right into the police station, put his paws up, admitted to what he did. He knows he's been stealing food, balls out of people's yards and everything. Yeah, you're not going to get that type of morality out of OJ. Won't happen. Won't happen. Yep, I love our true crime stories that have a happy ending. I do. Yesterday, I really loved the one about the mugshot in Michigan with the canine dog that stole the officer sandwiches and stuff. True. You know what I would do? I'd put Chico in a jail cell with Stephen Stearns. I'd give Chico the remote. Could you imagine Chico with that remote? Well, you guys are the absolute best. I'm working on a video for later this afternoon. May or may not be up, but we do have 2 shows tomorrow. 2 shows, all right? If you missed yesterday's second show, all I can say is, wow. Because that show was a ton of fun. Well, you guys are a ton of fun. And if I don't see you back here this afternoon on the channel, I'll see you in Discord, one of the Facebook groups. If I miss you all the way around, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. All right? Guys, are the absolute best. Mod Squad, mwah. Mwah. Go get you some tacos. It's Taco Tuesday. You guys are the best. Love ya.